Hey guys, it's Chris Daniel, the PMP Guru. So look, I'm back with another video. Again, I'm addressing all the sticky stuff this time, right? This particular segment, I want to talk about the PMP application, all right? So go ahead and sigh. Somebody finally is addressing the real stuff on the application. So Chris, here's the question. How does 100% of your students get their applications approved every single time for the PMP? Guys, there are 5 things you need to follow, right? So this is my template that I created and it works every single time. It's not a cheat sheet, it's a proven process. It's a proven process for getting your application accepted every single time for PMP, right? So there are 5 things you need to know. Some people can use a resume. All right, some people can use a resume. Some people say, hey, use a KSA. I'm a firm believer that those things are just foundational, right? So if you have a handy resume, if you have a current resume handy, make sure you have it close because we're going to use that as just the framework, not the template itself. When you're completing the PMP application, PMI wants to know what you did as a project manager, who you led, who you impacted. So all those things, you need to be able to put them in the flow, and I've got the flow for you. So there are 5 steps, 5 things, 5 ingredients to a successful PMP application. After you complete all the contact information and your home address and all of that stuff, the biggest part is you need to put your work history, your project descriptions, right? They want to know, how do you come up with these 4,500 hours or 7,500 hours if you don't have a degree? What did you do? Too many people shoot themselves in the feet and get audits because they want to include everybody. And while we love our project teams, this application is about you, the aspiring PMP. So first things first, PMI wants to know, what role did you play in the project description, all right? What role did you play? What did you do? So some key terms you want to use here are like project contributor, if you weren't the project manager. If you were the project manager, put project manager. This co-project manager, co-PM stuff, guys, kill it, stop it, beat it. Please don't put that co-stuff, right? They don't want to know about who you did it with, they just want to know about what you did. So remember, rule number 1, you have to address what role you played as a project contributor, as a project sponsor, as a PM, as a team member. Doesn't matter the role, just make sure you talk about what role you played. The next part, what you actually did. We need to know, what did you do? Did you lead meetings? Did you deliver products to your customer? Did you follow up with customers? Did you do focus groups? What did you do? You have to be willing to talk about that in 1 to 2 sentences, okay? At least 1 to 2 sentences. The next part, what was the impact of what you did? All right, you got to talk about the impact, the results. So you led a meeting of 30 project managers. What was the result? What did they get out of it? Were they better PMs out of it? Did their project rates go up? Did their success rates improve? Did their waste decrease? What was the impact? Be sure to talk about that. Number 4, and here's a very, very unknown secret. You got to use quantifiables. You have to use numbers or figures or time or data. You got to use some quantifiables to make it real, right? That shows impact. That shows results. And the last piece, very critical, who benefited? Who benefited from your project work? Who benefited in the description from your project? What was the benefit? Who was it? Who was the client? Who was the organization? Was it the environment? What organization benefited from the work you did as a project manager in that particular project? Now, a couple of other things to remember. Make sure you get it all in, all this within those 500, 550 characters, right? So that means we got to be very to the point, very direct, very efficient. Now, the reason I say don't use the resume, because the resume is just loose and it's too passive. PMI wants to see the assertive, the aggressive project manager that you are. What did you do? And guys, look, here's the deal. Don't have any shame about putting you did what. Even if you did it with someone else, it's okay. You still did it. You still performed as a project manager, if not over the entire project, at least on a portion of the project. So again, let me recap. You want to put what role you played. You want to put what you did specifically. None of this in the clouds, airy-fairy stuff. We want to get very specific and detailed here. You want to put what was the impact of what you did. You want to use quantifiables, guys, numbers, hours, rates, some sort of improvement. You want to be able to quantify that. And last but not least, who benefited, all in 550 characters. That's about 4 to 6 sentences in my guess. So follow this format for each of the project descriptions, for each of your projects, and I can guarantee your application will be approved by PMI. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to get even more into the weeds of the PMP process.